Hey everybody, we want to welcome you to the first episode of a very special podcast that we've produced called The Life, the Law, the Limit. I'm here with my co-host. We have Fee.
How y'all doing?
Gustavo.
Hey, what's up?
And DeJorian.
Glad to have you.
This podcast was created because we felt like there was a void on the internet and just out in the world for Black, queer, gay voices. So we've come together to kind of give you guys different perspectives from people in the community. We're going to start off with introducing ourselves. Fee, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name's Felisa, but everyone calls me Fee. I'm pretty much probably the old school of the group. You know, y'all, I could be your aunt, uncle, whatever. But basically, a little about myself. I'm 60 years old. I have a daughter. I have 2 grandkids. Basically, I've just, been, living life. What I want you to know about me is I like the fact that the brand that we say masculine presenting, I like that better than, maybe stud or butch back in my day, because I'm going to give you a little history about how we came up.
What do you do for work?
What I do? Oh, I work cinema shelter. So
okay.
I used to play basketball, got a scholarship to go to North Texas. I'm very into WNBA, they're Dallas Wings. I'm a season ticket holder. Love the game. I can't play anymore like I used to, so mentally I still think I got it, but physically I don't. So what I do now to keep myself in the game is I referee. I referee basketball, volleyball, even football. So I'm just a sportser. I love sports. I love to be active, and pretty much love all that. So
that's really exciting. That's so cool. I just learned some stuff about you. So
and guess what?
What?
I'm a lesbian.
You a lesbian? You're a lesbian?
Lesbian.
You listen.
So I want to let everybody know we got lesbians and thespians here. So Gustavo, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hello, my name is Gustavo. I am 35 years old. Professionally, I'm an actor. So I am an actor and a singer in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I'm a real estate agent, and I also work as a recruiting business partner for a major firm. I am gay. I am very excited to join here with my fellow hosts and get things going and talk about things and just shoot the shit, We say shit, we can say shit. We shoot the shit, whatever. So I'm excited about it. And yeah, we're gonna get some good topics. Got a lot of good stuff going on. Excited about it.
We have DeJorian.
Hi everybody, I am DeJorian. I do a lot, you guys. I own a tax firm. I'm in real estate. I syndicate apartments. What else? I have a janitorial company. Basically, I'm a serial entrepreneur. And guess what? I'm a bisexual.
I'm dead.
I am a bisexual. And I love it. It's the best of both worlds. They say I eat greedy.
Just greedy. I was just gonna say, just greedy. Just.
Yeah.
Well, with this dating pool, you're gonna need to have all the options you can get.
You ain't never lied. You ain't never down.
Ain't nothing out here.
So I'm Henry, and I work in social media management and online marketing. I've started out my career as a videographer for different magazines and small production houses and stuff like that. I've most recently just been traveling and living in different countries in Central America. I wanted to have that experience. And I've done that, and now I'm back in Dallas, and I'm excited to be working with these amazing people. We have such a great group of people, diverse, successful, talented, so it's really cool to get. I'm so happy that you guys are giving your time.
Me too.
I'm so impressed.
Me too. Yeah,
I'm excited.
Yeah,
me too.
We're gonna make it shake.
We're gonna make it shake. So I want to, the next part is that we're gonna explain really the purpose of the life, the law, the limit, and so I want you to kind of start off with that, because we're just going to give out what our purpose is for having this podcast. I think we all kind of, that'll help us to kind of understand how we're going to move forward and what we want to do based off of how you feel about what this podcast is about and what you're wanting to see out of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, basically, I think since I said that, I'm probably the old school of the group, just basically how things were when I was younger, based on the fact that I knew no one that was gay, I knew nothing. I had never seen it, but I knew I was different. I knew at a young age that I was attractive to women. Not saying I wasn't attractive to guys, but I knew it was like a pretty girl would caught my eye. My teachers, I excelled in class, sad to say, but if I thought my teacher was pretty, she had my undivided attention. I wanted to be the class, perfect, take names, everything. So I just I should be able to identify with how things were then and how they have escalated now. Because back then there was just, coming out the closet was difficult.
Yeah,
I didn't even know what that meant.
It was difficult, so when I say that, it was, like I said, I just knew, I thought something was wrong with me because I grew up, Black Catholic. First of all, that was, in my culture, it wasn't too many Catholics, so being a Black Catholic and the religion, so it was like, no, it's a sin, things of that nature, and we'll get into all that too, but that was my culture, that's how I grew up. So I feel like I can share the how we started in my era into what things are in this era.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Gustavo?
Same. I'm excited about the podcast because I'm excited to just have conversations, right? To learn from Fee. There's a lot that you bring to the table that honestly I'm just ignorant to, right? I'm not a lesbian. I think, I'm like, so for me, it's like there's a lot of that culture that even though as a gay man, I'm submerged in it, to a certain extent, I'm not a lesbian, so there's a lot that I'm going to learn from this. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about the different perspectives, the different topics we're going to talk about. I think for me, growing up, I'm Dominican. Growing up in the States, it's been a challenge, right? I never came out because I didn't really see the reason to come out. I just came with a man, and I was like, hey, there's my friend, and you know what that means. So, what I gotta come out for? So I never technically came out. Like, I never went up to my mom and be like, oh, hey, I gotta talk to you about something. I just, it was not that deep to me. But I also know that there's a certain amount of privilege in that because of how old I am and the world that I lived in, that I grew up in, versus the world that you would have grown up in, right? So I understand that. But yeah, I'm very excited about the different topics. I'm very excited about just having the conversation. I'm very excited about the fact that we don't have anything like this out there. And for us to really be able to just give our perspectives, have our voices heard. And just, we're here, we're queer, we're not going anywhere. And I think that's a statement that needs to just continue.
I love that, absolutely. Dorian?
For me, it's about, first of all, I love this group of people that we've assembled. I mean, this was definitely ordained in a great way. How all of this came to be, we were out at, having something to eat and things like that. And just, more or less to bridge the gap between what people think and what really is, because it's very different from what you would consider. We go through the same challenges that everybody else does in love and relationships, and even more so, I'd say, career-wise, because I haven't had a traditional career pathway. I never subscribed to that go to school, make good grades, get a good job bullshit, because everybody that I know is trying not to do that. And even that, because I've never worn my sexuality on my sleeves, and I never came out either. It was nothing like that for me. In fact, I'd say it wasn't a coming out; it was a confirmation, and it was not a. It was more so, hey, this is what I am. This is what I do, and it was not to friends, it was more just to my mom, and we'd had a really traumatic event in the family, and I just got tired of people trying to be in my business. And so, my partner and I lived together for a very long time, and at the time, and I was just tired of all the invasive questions and ideas and things like that. So, to make it short, I would say bridging the gap between what people think the way things are. It's not all about sex or anything like that. It's really about caring, and there's room for everybody because we want to hear from you guys too.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to say that because I didn't say it earlier. I'm Henry and I'm gay. I identify as gay, as a male. He, him.
Okay.
And I'm a homosexual. Hey, go ahead. And I think for me, this podcast is an opportunity to connect with people of like-minded people. To also, bridge the gap between, some of these stereotypes and preconceptions that are out in the world, and to just bridge the gap between the truth and how as people of color, queer people and people of color, how we all have these individual stories that are unique, and I love what you just said earlier about not carrying your sexuality on your sleeve, mm-hmm. right? Because a lot of times with me, I feel like I have to come out every day.
Yeah, because you don't exude that at all.
And I'm not hiding anything. I'm not trying to be something that I'm not. If you hang around me long enough, I'm gonna start singing show tunes. Just ask anybody. And I know too much. But I feel like I have to always come out consistently, coming out. And I would like to see us at a point in with our relationships and with people where it's not it's not taboo to be gay. It's okay, this is so and so, and he just so happens to be gay. It's not he's gay. It's such a topic when you deal with people. Mm-hmm. So I would really like to, talk about some of those things that we deal with every day in our community that people don't really. I don't think they have a lot of insight into.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm excited about this podcast. I think it's going to be fantastic, and we do want to hear from you guys. I think. I want to talk more about your journey, our journey into, I don't want to say into being gay, but really to exploring and discovering yourself. How did you come to the realization that you were gay? How was it moving for you through your life as a young person, knowing that you were not socially accepted necessarily by your family and friends or the public?
So for me, I've always been a tomboy. I had a older brother. I was his guinea pig. So back then Bruce Lee did karate on me. We wrestled. I got the hand claw. He put me to sleep, everything. So,
I'm weak. Now he put you to sleep, girl.
Yes, he did. He put me to sleep. I fell. My mom coming in rushing, what was that? And he steady, wake up. And then as soon as I wake up, my mom is right there, and she's like, "What's wrong with?" Nothing. We just played. I was out. So with that being said, I was tough. I learned how to fight from him. So growing up, I've always I played football with the street kids. Tender-headed. As I don't know what cry if you comb my hair, but we're gonna go play football and we're playing tackle, with the boys. Can Fee come out and play? We need her. Because I was the running back. So based on that, I always been a tomboy. So I was rough and tough and climbed trees and everything like that. Never really hung out with a lot of girls. I've always, tender to the guys and because they sports and everything like that, but when I can honestly remember, like I said, I always was attractive to women, always, but when it actually came about, I think my first encounter was after I had my first crush. My first love was a guy. He was older than me. So he was off in college. I was a senior in high school. And when we loved, I mean, my mom loved him, everything. But when we broke up, I started, conversating with my best friend. We talked about everything. My best friend was my best friend. And so she knew that I had boyfriends. I was a little player, I call him my little roster, it's like
Yeah, you got a
I had a basketball team. Like, you're next.
Okay.
And that was sad to say, but I really never, broke up. I mean, once I broke up, I was already moving to the next. So, not saying that,
Right.
but that was what it, so my best friend knew everything. But me and my best friends just started talking and talking. I was like, golly, I kind of like her. Now this is my best friend and I'm liking her. So I was like, it's going to get weird because I'm going to tell her that I kind of like her more than friends. So now I'm already thinking she's not going to be my friend no more. So what am I going to do now? And so I just said it. Hey, I got something to tell you. I like you. I like you a lot more than just friends. I like you like girlfriend and boyfriend type of thing. And she was like, I've been liking you. I'm like, what? I said, it's
That's the tea.
I said, you should have been. You should have been told me.
Y'all could have been doing this stuff. Yeah, you better play somebody else.
So that's when I was like, okay. But I still didn't really know what that world was. But at least I felt comfortable with that. But mind you, this was my best friend. I done told her that I like her, but she already know that I was this player. She knows all my business. So how can she take me serious when she knows this? Everything about me. So it was like that. But eventually, so in high school it was really kind of like my coming out to people, but I still hadn't came out and with my family yet. I didn't come out. I really believe, I thought my family knew since I was a tomboy, things like that. When I went off to school, played ball, everything. And that's when I got pregnant when I was in college. So I was like, I thought that was like, woo, she's not. She's gonna have a baby. She's doing it with guys, That
was a phase.
But, I really thought that was gonna let me off the hook. And really, to be honest, back then, how the mentality was, I knew I liked women, but I still was growing up in the church, still trying to do what society wanted me to do and what was politically correct then. So I really tried to be with a man. I tried to be with my daughter's father, and it just didn't work out. So when I felt like at that particular time, I gave it my all. Look, I'm going to try. I'm not going to do this. I'm going to, he asked my mom for my hand in marriage. We was going to get married and everything. And what really got us through, we had marriage counseling. We went to marriage counseling, and that's when it all kind of came out.
Wow.
So he was like, yeah, so.
So it was never like this, I guess if I can ask, were you ever attracted to him or like really?
I did.
Were you ever in love with him or?
My daughter's father?
Yeah.
No, I wasn't in love with him. I was in love with how he loved me.
That's a very interesting concept.
I love the way he loved me.
A word.
He loved me, and so I was like, if I have to play this part, it was like I was acting. If I have to play this part, then I'd rather play it with someone I know that cares for me and loves me. Then I was like, I'll eventually, fall in love. If we go down this road, I'll eventually, fall in love, and then we can be this happy family like we're supposed to be. But that wasn't the case. But yeah, most definitely.
Yeah. Wow.
But actually how it really came out was my very first girlfriend, serious girlfriend. And so that's when I talked to my mom. We lived together. It was my first time ever living with someone. We got our apartment together, and I just told my mom, hey, Mom, we're not just friends, we're girlfriends. I just want you to know if you come over to our house, we're a couple.
There's one bed, there's not two.
Yeah, we have a 3-bedroom, but that's a guest room and I don't sleep there.
That's how it was for me.
So, yeah.
I told him, I was like, look, let me let y'all know what's going on so y'all don't hear this out in the streets and be like,
Right.
why you didn't tell us?
Yeah.
I don't want y'all to be the last to find out.
Right, and she was like, I didn't raise you like that. Everything. I was like, Mama has nothing to do with how you raised me, anything.
Mm-hmm.
So once she gave me my blessing, once she said, I still love you, it was it. I don't care what everybody else thinks. My mom knows who I am. She still loves me. I got that support, and that was it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Gustavo, what about you?
Ask me the question. I just want the journey. My journey.
Well, let me ask the question.
Okay.
When did you actually begin to understand like your identity and who you were?
Long time ago. So when I was a kid, in Dominican Republic, I remember we were watching like telenovelas growing up, right? In Spanish, obviously, and it wasn't like a sexual attraction because I was a kid, but I was like physically like attracted to like the male body, and I thought women were beautiful. I still think women are some of the most beautiful creatures on this planet, but I'm not sexually attracted to females, right? So I kind of knew early on in Dominican Republic. I remember a lot of different instances where the machismo, that like the machismo was a thing, and I already knew at 3 or 4 years old that like this weird feeling that I have, or like who I'm attracted to or who I find attractive is not acceptable, because I hear how these men are talking about people that like men, right? And we also have the gay man down the street in Dominican Republic, and I hear how everybody talks about him. So I was like, if I'm gonna be gay, am I gonna be gay like that, or am I gonna be gay like a different one? Or am I gonna have to just be gay and suppress it and get married and have kids? Because that's what people are doing.
Like most of them.
Yeah, so like that, for me, that was a big thing, growing up like in my culture, in the Dominican culture. Even like with my family, right? Like my family was very accepting. I don't have any issues with any of my family members regarding my homosexuality. But growing up, I felt like I was not necessarily treated differently by my older male cousins, but they weren't asking me to hang out. They were picking up my brother and leaving me at the house. And it's like I wasn't playing basketball. They weren't asking me to play basketball, baseball, none of that, right? Because I was a theater kid. I sang opera, I was dancing, I was doing all those things. But for me, I always knew that it wasn't accepted.
So you don't feel like you were being excluded because you were gay. It just had to do with your preferences were.
Yeah, I don't think that it's because I was gay per se. At least back then, I didn't feel that. Honestly, the reason, and I've had this conversation with my cousins today, right? My male cousins, or some of them, but it's all their conversations. The men in the Dominican culture, period. All their conversations are about women sexually, and that's it. And I am an intelligent human being. I don't have don't get me wrong. I'll talk about niggas all day. But at the end of the day, that shouldn't women and sex should not be the only thing that you are conversing with kids about, right? So it's like I wasn't a part of those conversations, and I didn't have girlfriends. My brother did, so
Okay, DeJorian, I want you to give us some insight into when you began to understand who you were and your identity.
Very interesting. So for me, it was more or less when I was a teenager. Because, being a musician at a young age, I'm a concert pianist, you guys, I can play. And so it was always an association with sexuality and guys playing piano where I'm from. Anyway, but that was never anything for me. I was never concerned about that. I was like, I just like to play. And that came from going to church. Because I never wanted to play piano. I was always wanting to play the organ, which I do. And so at any rate, with that being the case, it was never at the forefront of my mind. And so when I got into high school, Because in middle school I had girlfriends. I had girlfriends in elementary school. I had 2 or 3, just like you. You know what I'm saying? And so, and we kept it quiet. You know. So at any rate, got into high school, and I was not interested in guys at all. Nothing like that. A guy came to me. We actually in English class. We were sitting in the 4 quads or whatever, and he just started feeling on my leg, and I'm like, "Get your filthy hand off me!" This is gonna be explicit, you guys. This is I'm hard for you, and I'm like, "What?
Oh,
What does that even mean?" You know, I don't even know what that meant. You know what I'm saying? So we would go to lunch after that, and so I would just walk down lunch, and I was athletic trainer because I couldn't play sports anymore because I almost broke my neck playing football. So,
oh wow.
I said, well, I'm going to be involved as much as I can, and that was the best way that I could stay around, you know, the game and things like that. So I would go down into the training room during lunchtime, and just because I didn't like crowds, you know, want to be by myself, and I'd be down there surfing the internet, dreaming about things that I was going to buy when I got some money. Literally, here I am. So, but one day on the stairs, I guess he had been watching me, whatever the case may be, and he met me on the stairs, and when I tell you what ensued after that changed my life. In the school, on the stairs. And I'm like, wait a minute, like, what are you doing? Because I'm like, I was trying to get him away from me, but he was adamant about what he wanted, and he got it. And then after that, you know, he was, well, what are we going to eat lunch today? I said, I'm not eating lunch. I want you to go away.
He was trying to eat something else.
He was persistent.
He was very persistent.
and you liked it, baby? You did.
I loved it. Here's the thing, because I was sexually abused by 2 people as a kid. And here's the thing, when that happens to you, and that's not necessarily everybody has to go through that journey, but that was my path into exploring sexuality. Pleasure is pleasure, even at any age. And my mom is a nurse, and she was telling me that even children have orgasms. I had no idea that was even possible. I thought you had to get to a certain age, the body had to go to a certain place, but that is, you know, that's not the case. You can orgasm at any age, evidently. And so, with that being said, pleasure was pleasure. So at that point, I was like, well, shit, it feels good. What's wrong with it? And then having to deal with the religious aspect of it, because I was the organist at church, and you know, it was considered sin back then. And for a lot of people, it still is. For those who don't know, you know, they could keep getting this bull jive in these pulpits, which were that's to protect the people who are actually out there doing what the Bible said don't do. And so we'll get into that. But at any rate, once I learned
Another episode.
Yeah, in another episode. But when you die from here, when you die, you don't have what do you have between your legs when you die?
Not a goddamn thing.
Hello. So that's it. That's it. So you know, with that, I started to actually just open my mind and study and come away from what everybody was saying, and I wanted an omni-perception of what this was. It's people, and that's how I was able to accept myself, and now really I don't give a damn what anybody says. I'm doing what I want to do.
Right.
So
that's what.
and as far as do I have a preference between men or women, I really don't. It's really, I think I hang out with more guys, so with that being the case, you know, that's who's in my forefront. But I'm open to dating women just as equally as I am to dating a guy, and I have. I mean, my last relationship with the woman was like 2.5 years ago.
Right, I was just gonna, if I could ask you,
we were very intimate.
I was just gonna ask you, so would you being, you know, hanging out more with males and you still date women, do women treat you different when they know that you dated men?
No, because I'm very upfront about it, and what I have found is that most women do not give a damn about that at all. They, you know, here again,
I'm shocked.
Yeah, I've never.
I would think that they would. I don't know.
I think it depends on the demographic. There's a demographic.
I think he's right about that too. But it's also the peer group that you date in, you know, and all of that. Because I'm not. Gustavo has said that my choice in dating has been poor.
It's been questionable.
He did say that.
But you know, on the same time,
tell you, baby.
You know, at the same time, when you look at where I am in my life,
right,
I can't go. You know, my dating pool from my social circle is very small. When you have a 7-figure annual income, not to be funny about that, but you know, your choices for dating is not very high. So you kind of are looking like everybody else. What can I find?
Right.
And that's in men and women.
You better say that. That's
so. I mean, it's like we talk about celebrities. You know, you see this celebrity gets with this celebrity, and they're always rarely are they dating somebody who's not in that vein, if you will.
Right.
It's the same thing here. You know what I'm saying? So the circle is pretty small with that. So you kind of have to Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Henry? Talk to me about your journey.
Yeah.
Tell us about your journey.
Oh, okay. All right.
Let us know.
So yeah, I think that my journey started when I was, a child. Obviously, I knew that I was gay. It was evident, and I understood what the what the opinions of the people around me, what it was. And so I understood that my mom would try to correct me, with some of my actions and things like that. And also you hear all of the negative talk, and, I kind of liked that I could hear and know what people thought of me, even though they didn't know. Or if they felt that I was, so they said these things, I remembered those things. I never forgot them, when I got older and became an adult and had my independence. I remembered if my brother said this, or if my stepfather, I never forgot that. And it's like, yes, I remember those things that you said or you did to me, and I'm an adult, and I still remember everything that you did. So and so I handled them accordingly, of course. But as a child, when I was younger, I knew that I could not be myself, and I had to suppress this and suppress that, because like I said, how gay people were talked about, how the stuff that would be said, they would tolerate them, they would be around, but they would still talk ugly behind their back. For me, I really didn't, I still don't feel completely comfortable with a lot of things, because I know, in our community, I still see people who get attacked, for being gay or queer. I know several people. I've had maybe 3 or 4 people that I actually know who were my friends who had been attacked and have died from it. Maybe they didn't die when it happened, but 5 years later they did. And so I don't completely feel safe about that. So I'm always on guard about these kinds of things, and I found that it's more. It's good to be direct with people. I don't like that I've had, like I said earlier, I feel like I have to come out every day, literally every day, because men always, every time I meet a dude, they have a man crush on me. You know what a man crush is, right?
Yep.
They don't sleep with you. It's a man crush. And
They
when
want to, though.
well, maybe. But when they find out that I'm gay, they're like, "Oh, you're gay?" Then they're nice, but then I'm not invited to all the other stuff that everybody's invited to. I'm separated, I'm different. And so for me, how I came out was, at school, when I became comfortable in high school, I was out with people who were my close friends. I was out to them. And then eventually, I came out on, in my 20s, in my late 20s, I came out on Facebook, because like I said, I don't, like DeJorian said earlier, I don't really lead with my sexuality. I don't think about it in those terms. I don't want to have to think about it in those terms. Right. And so I felt like I had to come out to everybody all the time, consistently. So I did it on Facebook. And then it's so funny, because some people in my family was like, well, what do you mean by that? I'm a faggot, pardon my French. They said, well, what do you mean? What made you say that? I said, you want me to explain it to you?
Right.
Let me go into detail.
I get this feeling inside sometimes.
I'm glad you said that, because we don't, as heterosexuals, I don't come out and say, hey, I'm a heterosexual. I don't even, it dumbfounds me that people you have to justify your I don't even call it sex life, just who you are.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right.
And this is Michaela. She's our one of our producers.
And I love her.
And
She's everything. She is absolutely that. She's everything.
she's off camera. She doesn't like being on camera, but she is really cute.
She's beautiful.
Gorgeous.
She's gonna be on camera at some point. Go get her right here.
We're gonna get over here.
I'm just cool heart.
Okay, come on, party.
But to your point, I know we are towards the end of our time if we're not already over, but I was just thinking about what you said. So when I meet somebody who is, heterosexual, they was like, I'm the VP of this, and I'm straight. I couldn't give a damn who you sleeping with. As long as you're not trying to sleep with me. It's your business.
It's the same thing with it depends what you look like. You might could try.
You know what I mean? You buy. You buy.
We're cut, right?
Nah, we still recording.
We'll edit it out.
You need to get up.
Oh, no, baby, good.
Let me close it out. Okay.
I got 5 minutes on it.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay, guys, I want to thank you for sharing with us today. It's been such a pleasure to come together with everybody. And I'm glad that we've got this going and started, and you guys are going to be so much more content and episodes to come. We're really excited about it, and I just pretty much would like to hear some feedback from you guys.
We definitely want to hear from you. We definitely want questions.
Yes.
We can do question and answers. We want your feedback. How do you feel? What do you see? What do you want to know? You know, we're here.
What is y'all thinking? What
What are your
up?
questions? You can email us at the life, the law, and the limit.
I was lightning before the thunder.
Thunder, thunder.